Have you ever wished you could get all your different apps and smart devices to just talk to each other? Without having to become a full-blown coding expert? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into today by demystifying a really powerful tool called Node-RED. Now, forget about physical cables for a second. Just imagine, what if you could visually draw the connections between all the different parts of the digital world? Like, what if you could link your smart home to your email or an API to a spreadsheet just by dragging and dropping some lines on a screen? That's the huge idea we're exploring here. So what even is Node-RED? To really wrap your head around it, you've got to think a little differently, beyond just lines and lines of traditional code. At its absolute core, Node-RED is a low-code tool. The two big keywords here are event-driven and flow-based. So instead of writing a script that just runs from top to bottom, you build apps that react to things. We call them triggers. That could be anything: a new email, a tweet, a temperature sensor hitting a certain number, and you design all that logic visually by connecting blocks. Essentially, it's a bridge. It lets you take something physical, like a hardware device, pull some data from a web API, and then use that to kick off an action in a totally separate online service. It connects the physical and digital worlds, right there in one visual space. The whole philosophy really boils down to three main ideas. First, visual flow programming. You're literally drawing your application's logic, which is awesome. Second, it's event-driven, meaning it's built from the ground up to react to data in real time. And third, and this is a big one, it has this huge, extensible ecosystem of nodes, which are basically pre-built chunks of code you can just plug and play. To really get it, let's think of it like you're building a simple digital circuit. It sounds complicated, but it's not. We just need to understand the three basic building blocks that make up what's called a flow. So, everything in Node-RED is built from just these three things. First up, you've got nodes. Think of them as little workers or mini apps that each do one very specific job. Then you connect them together with wires, which are just pathways that tell the data where to go next. And the data itself, that travels in a message, a neat little packet of information that flows from one node to the next. And here's the magic. When you combine those nodes, wires, and messages, you get a flow. And that flow is your application. The entire logic, the whole shebang, is laid out visually right in front of you so you can see exactly what's happening at a glance.
Okay, so we've seen the pretty front end, the visual editor. But what's actually happening behind the scenes to make it all run? Let's take a quick peek into the engine room.
The whole system is really smart because it's split into two distinct halves. On one side, you have the editor. That's the visual in your browser world where you're dragging and dropping and building your flows. Then, completely separate, you have the runtime. This is the powerhouse engine that just runs quietly in the background, executing the logic you built 24/7. One part is for creating, the other is for doing. Simple as that. All right, knowing how it works is cool, but what can you actually do with it? Let's unlock the power tools and check out the key features that make Node-RED so incredibly versatile. The editor is way more than just a drawing board. You can manage all your work in structured projects, complete with version control, just like pro developers do. If you need some new functionality, you can install new nodes from a massive community library right from the editor. No command line needed. It even helps you centralize stuff like API keys so you're not typing them in all over the place. And check this out, especially for anyone working on a team, this is a game changer. Multiple people can be in the same editor at the same time, building and fixing flows together. You can literally see each other's cursors moving around. It's real-time collaborative programming. And while all that cool collaboration is happening in the editor, that backend runtime engine is an absolute workhorse. It's handling all the complex message processing, it's managing how data is stored, and it has serious, robust security built right in. It's the powerful, invisible engine that makes everything just work. So, with all these amazing features, you might be asking, why does this really matter in the grand scheme of things? Well, to get that, we need to look at its foundation. That tells us a lot about its power and its future. First off, look at this. It requires a modern version of Node.js to run. Now, that might sound like a technical detail, but what it really tells you is that this isn't some old, stagnant project. It's built on a current, secure, and high-performing stack, and it's being actively kept up to date. And that quality is no accident. It's because it's built on this incredible foundation of proven, best-in-class technologies. It uses things like Express.js for the web server, WebSockets for that real-time communication we talked about. This means it's reliable, it's secure, and it already knows how to speak the most important languages of the modern web. This is not a toy. It's a serious enterprise-ready platform. Which, brings us right back to where we started. Node-RED gives you this incredible power to visually wire together almost any device, any service, or any API you can think of. So the real question, the one I want to leave you with, is this. Now that you can connect anything, what will you create?